Welcome to the Family Leaders Legislative Update. We had not a surprise, but a sudden reappearance of the bully bill this week. We'd been told that it was dead, and we knew better. It's a very high priority of the governor's. And so, sure enough, yesterday, the Appropriations Committee suspended the rules, brought up a very watered-down bully bill, and our friends in the legislature really struggled with it. 6 of our friends voted no on final passage, but about 6 of our best friends voted for it. And the reason was that they didn't see any real harm in it. The 6 that voted against it thought it should have been stronger on religious liberty and teaching the Golden Rule. So now it goes over to the Senate. It may go to conference committee. The House leadership has promised it won't, that they won't take it up if the Senate doesn't adopt the exact bill that they got. So anyway, it's a scrambled mess. I listened to the full debate today, and suffice to say that this issue is not going away anytime soon.
I just think it's unfortunate that our friends had to vote one way or the other to please leadership on a bill that doesn't sit well with the base.
Well, the bottom line is the governor has a lot of clout. He gets his priority things brought up for a vote. They don't always pass. This one got way watered down. But this issue is going to continue to be around because until we start teaching, as Greg said last week, better morals in our schools, biblical morals, we're going to have things like bullying happen.
So you said they suspended the rules. Now, I know we've tried to suspend the rules on other votes, but so we could suspend the rules for something so important as life or marriage, or if the will were there.
If the top priority, we could.
Just asking.
If the will were there. And, that's one reason we get involved in elections is because we do need to try to find people who will vote for bold leadership on marriage and life.
That, and I just read the American Principles in Action autopsy of the actual GOP autopsy, and it went through the fact that the Republicans that are losing those elections that they're so concerned about, it's not the economics. In fact, it was the economics issues that cost them those elections. It was that they didn't stand on the social issues.
That's so important to get that message out because that's not what we hear in the mainstream media.
You're absolutely right. And social issues are winning on the Democrats and independent voters as well. So this is not a partisan issue. It's coming out across the board.
That's true. Real quickly, adjournment fever has set in. We probably only have 1 or 2 or at the most 3 more legislative days on the Hill, unless the wheels completely fall off. And so we are now turning our attention very soon to especially the upcoming primary elections. Greg, you want to share a little more on grassroots and the elections?
Yeah, Chuck. A lot of people often complain in the November elections, like I feel like I'm choosing between the lesser of 2 evils. A lot of times the first thing I'll ask is, well, did you participate in the primaries? Because the primaries is the time that we get to determine which candidates are going to represent in either political party. And if we want people that espouse biblical worldviews, that are with us on life and marriage and pornography and divorce reform, you just gambling, we got so many issues we're involved with. Did you do the proper discernment of the candidates in the primaries? We need Christians to stand up and run in primaries, first of all. And we as Christians need to make sure that we are doing the discernment process, and we have a great chance for this June 3 primary going on. We have 4 candidates running for United States Senate. The venue we're in right now, the family leaders got done hosting their U.S. Senate Family Forum. We encourage you to watch the forum, get to know these candidates, figure out which one's going to represent us the best in D.C. And when I say us, I mean believers, not Republican Party, not conservatives. Who's going to represent the Bible? Because at the end of the day, the Lord isn't going to judge you how conservative you are. He's just not. And it's time that we get our priorities straight. And the same thing goes for United States Congress. We have a lot of great men and women across this state that are running for these offices as well, and state legislator. How many times are we going to sit here around every single session and think, man, I wish we got some life and marriage things done? Well, let's get involved in the primaries and actually start putting people in there going to fight. Let's take that state Senate back from Mike Gronstall next November so we can actually get the work done to start passing the things that we've been passionately talking about for several years now.
Amen. Amen. Tamara, would you like to share some on the district conventions? You're the National Republican Committee woman for the state. The conventions are coming up tomorrow. Thanks for your and Danny's hard work on those. What would you like to share on those?
Thanks, Chuck. We do have conventions tomorrow for both parties happening here in Iowa, and Maybe someday we'll have a third and fourth party if these parties can't get things right and do them better, as you just said. But as we move forward, you'll have, by the time you see this video, those conventions will have been over, and we'll have results for you on a new state central committee for both, I think, both parties. But as we move forward, as Greg said, beyond the parties, what's going to be important is what happens in your home, in your hearts. People often say, what's the RNC or the DNC going to do, or what's coming out of DC? What's coming out of your home? What's coming out of your heart? What are you talking about with your kids? Have you just looked them in the eye lately and asked about school? Have you heard what's happening? Do you know what their papers are about, what their homework assignments, what's being said to them? So while we start focusing on June 3rd primary, and we should, it would be irresponsible as Christians not to be good stewards of our civic responsibility, but even more as stewards of your children and shepherds in your home, those family members, those neighbors. The question was asked tonight, how do you not bake a cake or not do flowers for a wedding? How is that love? How is it love not to help somebody find the truth?
Amen. Amen. Very well said. Tamara, our politics should spring out of our faith in Jesus Christ, Greg, in our family life, and then we will have better politics. But we got to keep the home fires burning.
When the family's healthy, society benefits. When the family's broken, society pays the cost. It's that simple. If you're a fiscal conservative, social conservative will help save you money.
Amen. Family is our middle name at The Family Leader, and thanks for joining this legislative update. And please, please, please get informed and vote June 3rd. God bless you.